Hello there. In today's video I'll be going through the items that I acquired at Model Rail Scotland. I had a brilliant time and I was able to meet up with Stephen from Elvenhome and we had a really nice chat. So I'd like to thank Stephen for spending the time to have the chat with me and later with my dad. It was great to meet you and I'm hoping that I'll see you again at another show at some point. Anyway, let's get into the video and let me show you in closer detail what I got. I went to WWS searching for these Loco storage boxes after seeing them on a video from Ian at Ian's Engage. And I thought what a brilliant idea, so I bought 2 of them and they will go on my shelf next to my controller where I can then store. At the moment I'll be able to store 20 Locos as I bought 2 boxes, but if they are as good as I think they are, I might end up buying more. Speaking of controllers, I bought this single track controller to go by the Branchline station. The controller I have at the moment is a 3-track controller, but I would have to operate the incline, the raised section by the Branchline station at quite a distance away from it, and I would like the idea of having a controller over there so I could stand next to the station and move the trains around right next to it rather than having to run back and forth between my main controller and the station. I also visited West Hill Wagon Works. Now some of these items I have been after for a while, and other items were just a spur at the moment. That looks nice, and I bought it. So let's go through what I got. I got some speed restriction signs, a Class 47 bogie, a worktop bench, a filing cabinet for an office, or probably more likely for my diesel depot, some yellow safety railings also for the diesel depot, a Class 47 and a Class 37 power unit, and something else that I will show you later on in the video, as it is more relevant to something else that I got at the show. Yeah, so all of these items were 3D printed and I shall paint them up in time. But yeah, let's get into the next section. So the day that I went to the show was the Friday. I was intending on the Saturday of going to Edinburgh and visiting Harburn Hobbies. Now, circumstances prevented that from happening. So instead, I went back into the SEC and back to the Model Rail Scotland event and went back to the Harburn Hobbies stand because I was going to buy these items from their shop in Edinburgh, but instead I went back in and bought them from them in the exhibition hall. So I got a Edinburgh, Glasgow and a Highland Bituments Limited wagons. These are all Harburn Hobbies exclusives, I believe. So I was quite pleased with them, and they are all Pico, and I'll just show you through this next section of me unboxing them. I acquired this Dapol Silver Bullet model from the Wagon Yard. I hadn't seen it on the first day, on the Friday that I was there, but when I went back again on the Saturday, I noticed it, and I'd already got one, so I thought I'd get a second and add that to the layout. Here's it being unboxed. This is a cross-country Voyager. I have a Virgin Voyager on my layout already, but I'd been looking for a cross-country one, as they are. I see them most frequently going past my house, because out of the loft we get a nice view of the railway at the back. You can just about see the trains going through, and this is one that goes through quite regularly. So I'd been looking out for this model while I was at the Model Rail Scotland, and it wasn't until I got to the last stand that I hadn't looked at. Every other stand I had looked at, I couldn't find it. They'd got the Virgin versions, but they hadn't got the cross-country version. So I was almost giving up hope until I went to, I think it was TTC Models. I'll double check that and edit that in later if I need to. And they had it, and it was reduced by, I mean, as you saw at the start, quite significantly. So I was quite pleased with this model. As you can see, the presentation of the boxes, well, the Graham Farish boxes are always pristine. And yeah, no scratches, no scuffs as well, which is brilliant because I do like having neat boxes. So yeah, having the plastic cover that I'm taking off now, that does have make a difference, because I've got some boxes that have got scratches along the back, and when you've got a plastic sheet over the top like that, it does make it a lot nicer of a box. Right, so I'll just run through now and show you the opening of the box and the unboxing. So it's a 4-car multiple unit, and it only has one power car. So the real version of it is a diesel locomotive. Of course, model-wise, it will be electric. Here you can see all the instruction manuals and all the details that the model comes with. Yeah, it's quite a lot of separately fitted parts on it, I think. And yeah, I was part of me was waiting for the Dapol 221 Super Voyager, which was a 5-car unit. But having seen and experienced myself the unreliability of certain Dapol models, I didn't want to risk it. And when I have a Voyager from Graham Farish that works brilliantly and flawlessly, and I would argue is one of the best runners that I have, I thought, I'm not going to take the chance with the Dapol one. I'll stick with what I know works and what I know it's going to be brilliant. And yeah, it was brilliant straight out of the box, which I'll show you later on. And it ran superbly. So I'll just finish and show it coming out of the box, and it is a stunning model. The detail on it is very impressive. I am going to make one modification to the model, and that has to do with the item that I got from West Hill Wagon Works, which I'll show you later on in the video. Not quite there yet. But it is to do with the drawbars between the carriages. As I don't intend to have this Voyager, or indeed the other one I already have, permanently out on the layout, which is one of the main reasons why I bought the Loco storage boxes from WWS, which you saw earlier in the video, as they will hold this and another purchase that I made that I'll show you later on. So as always, the Graham Farish packaging is brilliant. So you have this nice hard plastic shell case on the outside, and then with a plastic sleeve encasing the plastic holding that holds the actual coaches and in place. But it is a really nice unboxing experience, as you can see. And as you can see here, the detail on the model is amazing. It's amazing. It amazes me sometimes how much detail you can get in N-Gage, and shows up some other companies that don't put quite as much detail on in their N-Gage models. That Graham Farish always seems to knock things out of the park with the detail and delivery application, which on this is just stunning. So this is the spare parts bag you get with the multiple unit. You get some more drawbars. But anyway, let's show you these. These are magnetic couplings that you put instead of the drawbars, so you can uncouple the Voyager quite easily. Because with the drawbars, they are very small and very fiddly, as you'll see a bit later on. The size of them, trying to get them in locos, that yes, they're really easy to unclip, but clipping them back together is really difficult, and you have to have the loco upside down. So then once you've got the whole train clipped back together, you then have to rotate it back around. So it's then the wheels are facing the track rather than facing the sky, because it is that fiddly. I mean, might do a quick close-up here. You can just about see that is where the drawbar goes into. This little section here. It's not straight at the moment because it's been pushed out of the way. But this section here, the drawbar goes into that and then connects it to the next coach. And this is the drawbar, so I've just put my hands in there. You can see how small it is, trying to get that in there. And on my Virgin Voyager, I have broken, I think, 3 of these trying to clip them together. And I have, I would say, impeccable eyesight. And I have managed to break some of these trying to get them in when they haven't quite gone in properly. So I think it's going to be a much better alternative is having it with the magnetic couplings. So here you can see the drawbar as it connects them. Now it does give it quite a bit more leeway room as well. So I think the magnetic couplings have a closer. So I'll show you the comparison of those when I've fitted them in a later video. This is the first running of the model. As you can see, straight out the box, looking at how smooth the running is without any running in. So here is a side-by-side comparison of the 2 Voyagers that I have in the Virgin livery and the cross-country livery. I've had the Virgin liveried model for several years, probably maybe 8 years. It was one of the first models that I had, which is why I was really wanting to get the cross-country one, because of A, how long I'd had the Virgin one, and B, just I see the cross-country voyages so often going speeding through on the main line near where I live. So yeah, the detail on both of them is very good. My new one is a lot less dusty, of course. And now on to the final purchase. When I was younger, I always used to remember seeing Pendolinos at mostly Birmingham New Street and Wolverhampton Station. So it's been one of my favourite modern locomotives. So this is the Avanti West Coast liveried version of the model, and it's the 11-car unit, as I preferred the livery on it compared to the 9-car unit, as the 9-car unit has plain white coaches in between, whereas the 11-car unit has the, as you'll see later, the livery is applied to every single coach on the train, not just the two ends. So you can see the unboxing of the model, and it gives you a nice little manual to look through and gives you a bit of history on how the model came about, which is quite nice, and the different liveries that it ran and things like that. It then also has here the different versions of the Pendolino that you can buy. So I bought the one at the very bottom of the page. I do really like the Virgin liveried version, the original Virgin liveried version, sorry. But it's already having a Virgin liveried Voyager. I know it's a different train. I just wanted something that was a different livery, so it stood out a little bit more in the layout. So here you can see the detail of the model with multiple separate fitted parts, highly detailed. So this is an 11-car set, which I've already said. On the test footage that you'll see later on in the video, I do run it as all 11 cars, but for the most part I'll probably only run it as the 9-car set, because I don't really have the space to justify having all 11 coaches out at once, and I think it would be a little bit overpowering in terms of the length of it. But it runs around really nicely as the 9-car set. So here you can see one end of the Pendolino. The livery is applied superbly, and one of the reasons why I decided to get the Avanti West Coast liveried version was because it was the Avanti West Coast liveried Pendolino that I used to get to Model Rail Scotland in the first place. So it was quite funny that I'll then have this always as a memento of going to Model Rail Scotland, as it was not the exact same number Pendolino, but nonetheless it's the same livery, so I can imagine that I'm sat on that train somewhere. So here you can see me opening the other case. So you get these two cases that come inside the sleeve of the box, and all the coaches, as you saw a minute ago, have letters on the underside, so you can put them in the right order. But yeah, the livery application on these is stunning, and yeah, I was really pleased with this purchase. So but yeah, it's incredible. The detail is, I would possibly say, better than the Voyager that I've just spoken the praise about. You get, I think it was a few bags of the spare parts. So you got some spare couplings. You get spare pantographs, which I believe they might be in this bag here that I'm about to show you. Yeah, so one of these bags has the pantographs, and one of them has spare traction tyres. So yeah, incredible on what they give you in this set as spare parts, just in case. Yeah, Yeah, so I just put that on the layout above just so it's ready to start clipping them together. This is one of the ordinary coaches. Now, I didn't realise this while I was filming, but the first class coaches have operational indoor cabin lighting, which you'll see, I think, well, I hope you'll see in the running session of it later. Again, there you can see it tells you what coach letter it is and which direction is the front of the train. So that way you make sure you've got all of the coaches in the right order and facing the right way. So here you can see it on the layout. You can also see my shadow. So again, this is just like the Voyager, straight out the box, and it runs really smoothly. So I was really pleased with it. I did have a little bit of problem with going in one of the directions. It seemed to keep derailing on a certain point of the layout, which is fine. So it means I'll just run it the way you're seeing it now. On the outside tracks going in this direction is the direction of travel it will most likely be going in, just so I don't have to worry about any derailing. But yeah, it is a stunning model, and when you compare it to the price of the Voyager, it is a bargain when you think you get nearly 3 times the amount of coaches, and it's nowhere near 3 times the price. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the running session.